What we're talking about today is Lesson 7, Simplifying and Comparing Expressions with Symbols of Inclusion. We can apply the order of operations to expressions with symbols of inclusion. Symbols of inclusion is kind of a fancy way of saying different types of parentheses, for example, because symbols of inclusion include parentheses, brackets, braces, fraction bars. Remember when we talked about order of operations, we talked about whenever we had a fraction bar, that fraction bar couldn't just be thought of as the division that it is until everything was simplified in the numerator and denominator first. And we also talked about having to simplify what's inside of the absolute value symbols before we can actually find the absolute value. Expressions inside are considered a single term. First, absolute values in parentheses. So for example 1, it wants us to simplify, and on A, we just have some absolute value bars here. Okay, so as we said in the lesson about absolute value, we have to simplify what's inside first. So inside of this first set, we have 3 minus 9, which gets us a negative 6, and we have to bring down the absolute value because we haven't found the absolute value yet. And we're going to subtract the absolute value of 5 minus 2, which is 3. Now we can find the absolute values. So I have negative 6. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6 because negative 6 is 6 units away from 0. Bring down our subtraction. The absolute value of 3 is just 3 because it is 3 units away from 0. And 6 minus 3 gets us 3. Notice that even in the simplest of problems, I still have my tornado. On part B, we're doing the same thing, but what I want you to always remember is that we have to start with, we know that our order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, addition and subtraction from left to right. But parentheses is what's first. We have to start with our innermost group of parentheses first. In this case, we have brackets and we have parentheses. So we have to go with the innermost. The innermost is right here. So we're going to start with that 5 plus 9. And 5 plus 9 is going to get us 14. And we're going to, at this point, bring down everything that we have not yet used. Okay, so again, we have another set of parentheses, or another symbol of inclusion here, and that is 6 minus 14. And 6 minus 14 is going to get us that negative 8. Bring down everything that we have not yet used. Okay, so now we have multiplication and we have this double negative. Remember, when we have a double negative, we can change that to addition. But between multiplication and addition, multiplication of course comes first. So we have 4 times 3, which gets us 12, and bring down what we haven't used. So 12 plus 8 equals 20. Final answer, and once again, we have our nice math tornado. Exact same situation here. I would like for you to go ahead and take this opportunity to pause the video and work it out on your own. What we're going to work first here is, once again, we're going to follow our order of operations, which we can remember is PEMDAS. Okay, first being parentheses. So we do have two different sets of parentheses. We have our parentheses and we have our brackets. And so we have to do the innermost first, and the innermost is right here. So we have to do what's inside of this set of parentheses first. So we're going to take negative 2 and we're going to add 4. So negative 2 plus 4 gets us a positive 2. And everything else that we have not yet used, straight down. Okay, now we have this set of parentheses. Notice I still kept this set of parentheses, and I kept it because of that exponent. If our answer had turned out negative, those parentheses would be very, very important to us. So just as a nice habit to have, if you have an exponent on the outside of that, or say you're multiplying something by it, it's nice to just keep those parentheses there. But what we're working with now is just this part of the expression here. And we have to simplify everything in here following order of operations. So inside of this set of parentheses, or this side of brackets, we have subtraction and we have an exponent. Well, subtraction is all the way down here with addition, and exponents are on our next thing to do. So we're going to do 2 squared. Now, whenever we have this exponent of 2, it's touching these parentheses. It's good to remember that it belongs to everything inside of that set of parentheses. So this means 2 squared, which is 2 times itself twice, so 2 times 2, which gives us 4. And I'm going to bring everything else straight down. Okay, now I have 6 minus 4, which gets us 2. Bring everything else that we have not used down. Negative 4 plus 2 gets me a negative 2. Final answer, and there's my tornado. Again, same thing. I want you to go ahead and try this on your own paper before watching me do it with you. Go ahead and pause the video. What we're going to do once again is we're going to remember our order of operations, which is PEMDAS. So first on that list is, of course, our parentheses, and inside of our parentheses we have 3 different things going on here. We have multiplication, we have exponents, and we have subtraction. Between those 3 things, the first thing is that exponent. So the 2 is touching the 3, so that means 3 squared, and that is going to get us 9. And we're going to bring everything else that we haven't used down, always. And let me just tell you, if you think you can go ahead and punch these into your calculator and write me down an answer and get points for it, you couldn't be more wrong. Okay, I have to see the work. You won't get any credit for that. Inside these parentheses, I have 2 times 9 minus 4. Multiplication comes before subtraction, so I have 18 minus 4. Bring everything down. Okay, so now I have, there we go. Now I have 18 minus 4, which is going to get me 14, and then I have this other problem over here, or this other part of my problem that I also need to simplify. Before I can do the division indicated, I have to simplify that numerator. So I have to do 4 times 5, which gets me 20. Oops, it's not times. Look what happens when you write the wrong symbol. 4 plus 5, excuse me. So, not 20. 4 plus 5 gets me 9 over 3 minus 14. So I have 9 divided by 3, which is 3 minus 14, which gets me a negative 11 final answer. Okay, on this one, I want you to go ahead and write this down. I am not going to do this with you on the video. I want you to take this opportunity to compare these. We'll talk about it in class tomorrow. Oops. And you also have your word problem, which I know that you have to enjoy doing every night. And we will talk about this problem again tomorrow as well. So I hope you have a good night. Good luck.